What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Superman's daddy.
Deucey.
I know it's been a minute since you last heard from me, but I'm still here.
3,000 years later.
You know what? And of course, welcome to After Effects. And of course, as you know, we have on the dais.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mrs. Sutton.
It's the King Solomon Jr., a.k.a. Said He Said.
And welcome to yet another interesting, no holds barred, if you will, part 6. And today, we will be discussing, you want to go ahead and...
Keep your no. Keep your nose on everybody else's business. I'm sorry, I had a Will Smith on.
Okay.
I don't know where they came from.
Wow.
Well, as you see, you guys, this is what happens when you put the crew together.
That was the spirit of Tupac came down.
Hold on, wait a minute. Did you miss me?
The spirit of Tupac came down and he getting racist in that duck walk. Like,
Ooh, okay.
like, hold on, Papa, you got bag up though.
I'm so done.
Okay. Wow. I can honestly say I have truly missed this.
Yes.
So, because like I said, it's definitely been a minute.
Oh, Jesus.
But okay, we're going to go ahead and get on right into this.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I go ahead and start off.
Oh, Lord.
First off, sorry. That's what, listen, if you ain't seen Marlon Wayans' God Loves Me, you need to see it. Priceless.
All right, I'm going to have to check that out because I haven't seen it.
It's priceless because he tells a lot of truth.
And that's what I love about comedy because,
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's not just jokes just to make people laugh.
Right.
A lot of these comedians,
They
know,
tell
like,
the
well,
story.
Adele Givens said more or less like, she said, this is like therapy. Y'all are my therapist, so I'm just,
Yeah.
bouncing stuff off of y'all that I've personally experienced, and I can respect that.
Yeah, that's what comedy truly is. It's just another form of outlet.
Like what we doing.
Exactly.
We expressing what we done been through. And we done been through some things.
We really, truly
We done
have.
been through some things because too many mother people
Hey,
have stuck their nose in our business that we didn't ask for 2%. We didn't ask for 1%. We didn't ask for no cents. All we
really?
did-
No sense?
No sense. We didn't ask them for anything. But because folks feel that they have been doing this longer, that they have a right to say something.
Or
Wait.
there's some kind of expert,
Yeah.
if you will.
So let me just go ahead because y'all already know I'm the retarded one in the bunch. So I posed it to the queens of the table. How do you feel with the favorite saying that I hold so dear to my heart? Do as I say and not what I do.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and launch into that because that was kind of like, dare I say, the mantra in my life growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, what I say to that is simply this: lead by example. Okay? You have to remember, if you've been here longer, you're older, whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
you have little people that absorb things like sponges.
Yep.
Okay? So whatever you say, whatever you do, trust me, that little person with the little ears and the little eyes, they listening, they're watching, they're paying attention. And when you least expect it, that's when they're going to embarrass the holy crap out of you.
Oh, I can give you an example. So
I'm so glad. I
one
can't wait for
particular
this.
day. Oh yeah, because this will totally catch you off guard.
Oh boy.
One particular day, I'm minding my own little business. I was coming out of my bedroom in which a little person says, "Were you effing?"
You know what? And see, for me, you can't even fault that child for that. Because
What the?
somebody older than herself had to have said it, or had to have been watching and or listening to something for that child to pick that up.
Oh well, let me go ahead and
But
because
that's-
it's been a minute. So if you wouldn't mind, SD, let your baby brother go ahead and put you up on game. This same individual has no problem walking up to you and calling you ugly, saying that you're stupid,
But I need you off the edge of this bed.
and saying that you need to go and do something else. Matter of fact, they just told me right before we went on a little vacay, I'm busy, leave me alone.
Okay.
This same little person I watch gave their parent a 2-piece and a biscuit with no gravy and a little bit of coleslaw
Wow.
with some fries on the side. No drink.
Okay. But taking that into consideration, you can only surmise that this child has seen this. Now, I'm guessing is there some type of horseplay or something take place where the adult over this little person like knuckles up or does whatever? Because it's one thing to teach your child how to defend themselves. Horseplay is something different. And then where it becomes a problem is when the little person catches you off guard.
If I was to told you, and I gotta be careful that you don't snap and lose your mind, because what I'm about to say next might have some cuss words come out your mouth. You ready?
I'm ready.
This same supposed adult, how can I put this?
Into words, of course.
Teaches this little person what the true meaning of grind with me is all about. I'll wait.
I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. Yes, okay, I'm gonna need you to expound on that, please.
Sexualized dancing without grabbing and touching. I think that's the best way I can put it.
I mean, but this goes back to why we keep saying we have to come away from the cliche of saying, do as I say, not as I do.
Yep.
Because that's not how nothing works. We can easily say we can single out children, but that's not even how it works in adulthood.
Nope.
And when you think about it, when you're in a professional setting,
Yep.
you know, you're trained on what to do based on what you're showed to do. So somebody's telling you what to do, but they're also showing you what to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say, oh, well, even when you're at work, you have to be taught. This is the thing. We say, oh, no, do as I say, not as I do. So that means you don't want to be an effective leader.
Right.
And one thing my grandmother always says is never be so easily led.
Right.
Which means that you have to pay attention to what you see, what you do, and what you hear. Because you never know who's watching you.
Exactly.
So that means that everything you do has to be in line with who you are. So, oh no, don't do that. I told you to do something different. I'm a firm believer of this. And this has been one honorary category of me.
That's
Lord
for sure.
forgive me. But you ain't about to tell me to do nothing I don't see you do.
Lead by example.
Exactly. I am a firm believer of that. So my bedroom always stayed clean as a kid. But my mama kept our whole entire house clean.
Okay.
Still can't tell you how she did that working third shift. But
You know what? Actually, I can, because I actually worked third shift for 13 years, and depending on what you do, you know, on third shift, what type of work you're in and stuff, it's depending, you'll get this second win. And it's like whatever needs to be done, whatever has to be done, whatever you want to do, that's when you do it. And trust and believe you me, I was doing that for many years. It's like I come through the door cleaning up.
Yep.
Making sure that everything was in order before I laid head to pillow for any kind of rest. So
Yep.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. So I could never rebuttal and say, well, how you asking me to do this and you don't do that? I could never rebuttal that. I couldn't rebuttal that with my grandmother as a kid.
Okay.
Because even with that, honey, she was up every Saturday morning, mopping floors, cleaning stuff, changing sheets.
Okay.
You know, so again, there was no excuse because there was always an example
Okay.
that was set.
Okay.
So what does that mean? You have to set a standard
Right.
in order for a standard to be followed.
Point taken.
So you can't tell somebody don't cross the street without looking both ways
That's good.
without showing them how to look both ways.
Exactly.
When I taught my niece how to drive, the one thing I told her, especially at a four-way stop sign, is don't just look both ways one time. You look both ways twice. Because you have cars that blow past stop signs.
Well, they run red lights. So, I mean, if they run red lights, then a stop sign don't mean jack.
But
Yeah.
That is, unless you high and
It-
you sitting there waiting for it to turn green. But I digress.
But that wasn't just something I told her.
Mhm.
That was something I showed her.
Okay. Okay.
Because I always look and check, and you have to be able to read traffic.
Right.
Something that I demonstrated as well as taught. So therefore, I've always been that kid. One thing people say about me is I'm nosy, and I've always been inquisitive.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I will ask you, Shadow. I will ask you 1,000,001 questions.
Hallelujah.
Because my famous word is why.
I think that's every child's.
But my why went deeper.
Yeah, she went through the
I
whole
was the
dictionary
one-
with why.
Right. I was one, oh, the sky is blue. Why? Because that's the color it is. Well, why? Well, God chose it. Why didn't he pick another color? I was the why kid. For real, for real. So you
would've
kept
got 'em.
having to figure out a way to answer my questions.
Oh, you would have got on my nerves so bad.
There you go.
They would have found you tied up and locked in a closet somewhere on many of occasions. I promise you that.
Hello.
Listen, but it's a good quality to have because it means that can't nobody just tell you anything and you're going to go along with it and not question it.
Point taken. Point taken.
Because you're going to tell me something, you're going to tell me why. And if I don't understand your reasoning, you're going to explain further. That's the problem with the generation that's coming up. there are no follow-up questions.
Because there are no leaders.
Ooh.
And I'm sorry, but this right here, if I never hear this phrase again in life, because I said so. No. I'm going to need you to expound on that. Okay? For example, you have a little small child. You know, kids, once they start walking, they get to toddling and be something everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, over there and want to touch the stove. The stove is hot. And no matter how many times you may tell them that the stove is hot or whatever, sometimes some words actually require action. So let them touch the stove. Ooh, hot. Yeah, hot. So guess what? In their brain, ooh, I'm not going to go near this because this is hot. You know. Versus because I said so. Okay, so.
Yeah, well, because you said so, it's about to get your hand burned off.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow.
But the one thing that I gotta get, since we here, and you know me, as I said, I'm the crazy one of the bunch.
Yes, Lord.
Pretty much.
So, you know this ain't out of pocket. Well, what I'm about to say now. Praying for your downfall. Folks is smiling in your face. We got you. As Miss Sutton just talked about it on part 5, or was that part 4? I don't know where we at. About backstabbers. Mm-hmm. Now here's the problem. You got all this mouth to throw hurls, stones, boulders. I'm talking about the ones that Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble used to be digging out. You got all that mouth to throw them at me. However, you ain't got sense enough to take care of your own house. One of my old school favorite songs was by the Williams Brothers. Sweep around your own front door before you try to come around and sleep around mine. Sissy, your take?
Well, I must admit, I'm not necessarily familiar with this song, you know, but my whole take on it is make sure that you're doing what you need to do in your own right before you try to tell me what to do regarding myself. Because you and I are not the same.
Nope.
You might have a certain mantra that you follow in life that works for you, and that's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I might have something altogether different. Okay, that's almost kind of like saying, oh, well, you know, you should love circles because I love circles. No, you go ahead and you continue to love circles. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be cool over here with these triangles. And not because I said so.
Now, if y'all been paying attention, we've been really going really special with No Holds Barred. And you know I'm the one that always presses the envelope. So, now that I finally have my sister in my grasp, I'm going to go ahead and ask her. And my wife is about to look at me, and I pray that I'm still living after this. However, sis.
Yes.
Know you my favorite. You know I love you.
I love you too.
When everybody was saying that we was nothing, and I do mean everybody, we wouldn't amount, we would fail in this marriage. And for a minute there, it looked like it. What made you say, you know what? I don't know what I can do, but I'm going to pour into them and let them know who they are and what they can be. You know, you've had plenty of options because God knows I know I done got on your nerves. Look, we gonna just skip over that. I done got on her nerves plenty of times.
She don't live with you.
Ain't you over there giving Granny some ice cream?
Wow.
But you know what? Don't worry about it. This Miss Sutton sticking her 2 cents
That's
in.
enough.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
you never thought once to turn your back on us. And I've been dying to ask you this question. Why?
Well, you have to see things from my point of view. You have to look at the world through my eyes.
Staring at the world through my rear. I'm sorry.
And I've been told for as long as I can remember that I've always looked at the world through rose-colored glasses. And pretty much, in other words, what that means is kind of like I have a unrealistic viewpoint on certain things
I
in
would
life.
disagree with that, but okay.
And for me, my thing is I love to see people succeed, be successful, because there's always room for growth. You know, who you are today is not the same person that you were 6 months ago, 4 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yep.
You know, and the thing about it, excuse me, is I've watched Mrs. Sutton grow.
Mm-hmm.
I really have. And it's a beautiful thing having been able to witness her come into her own.
Yeah.
Because trust and believe you me, she's had her share of foolishness.
Woo. Yeah.
And I've been around to witness some of them, and I'm like, honey, woo, you must have the patience of a saint. Because some of that stuff right there just had me looking at her like there were no words. I was speechless.
Hey, you see, she can sing, y'all.
So, for me, it was absolutely wonderful knowing that she met you. And once I came to that realization, it was like the happiness, the joy that came with it was unparalleled.
Legitimate.
And I was just overjoyed for her, you know? And it's kind of like the thing is you want people around you to do well. You don't pray for someone's downfall, you know? And it's like, it's been too many naysayers.
Yeah.
Campaigning on her behalf.
Woo.
It's been too many fair weather friends. People that didn't go the distance.
Mm-mm.
And I know I'm not always the greatest friend, the greatest person. I don't keep in touch like I should, but just because we don't talk 4 or 5 times a day doesn't mean that if you really truly need me and you pick up that phone and you call me, best believe I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And I sincerely pray that it's not any foolishness that by the time I pull up, oh, well, we didn't sorted it out, we didn't worked it out and everything like that, because it's not going to be pretty. Because let me say this, I've had people tell me time and time again, well, I contacted you because you were the last resort. So you exhausted all your other possibilities, and I was the only one that was left on the list. Okay, when you put it that way, I'm coming. So when I show up, I'm on some real stuff.
Yeah.
And it better not be any foolishness, because it's gonna be a whole misunderstanding.
And you know what? I've been meaning to say this for some time, and I'm praying that I don't start crying and y'all start crying in the mix of that. You are extraordinary.
Thank you.
For me and Mrs. Sutton, it'll be it's officially 4 years. But
It'll be 4 years you've been married.
It'll be 4 years we've been married.
Okay.
But for 4 years, we have scoured the land. We have crossed the ocean seas and climbed the highest mountains. And the one person that has always came through for us is you.
Allow me to
It's
interject for a moment. I'm gonna give you a minute. The thing is, you have a lot of people out here
yeah.
that present a certain face to the world.
That's the word I was looking for.
But as you scratch beneath the surface and actually start to understand and realize who they really truly are, that face
Dwindles.
is just a mask. Exactly. And it's something either that they'll say or something that they will do to show you that they're not who you thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
And when they show that to you, believe them. For me,
Yes.
I've always been authentic. I've always been true. I tried being fake for like a minute. Guess what? That stuff does not work. It will bite you in the behind.
What's the definition of fear?
False evidence appearing real.
Okay. So my thing is, if you tell me something that's in confidence and you don't want it to be repeated, like Miss Bonita Betrell on In Living Color, I ain't one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me.
Yep.
That's just the type of person that I am. But so many people want to take advantage, and then it's like you just shut yourself off because you get tired of running into a brick wall when you meet different people. But after a while, as you grow and as you mature, you start to realize who really is truly in your corner. And there has never been a time that Mrs. Sutton hasn't been there when I've needed her. She's rearranged schedules. She's done whatever was necessary.
And we always will. Because what a lot of people don't know, more than podcasts, this is our whole family. When push comes to shove, she shows up and she shows out.
Oh.
It's been times that we didn't have no groceries in the house, and she done came through, and it's been like, and we didn't find out about it on Twitter. We didn't hear about it on Instagram.
Why would you?
On Facebook, wasn't no videos posted. It wasn't all through the town. She showed up, and after she nicely cussed us out, she said, if this ever happens again, and you don't call me, please know when I get here, we're going to have a situation. And because I know she wasn't playing, we made sure that certain things was lined up and made sure, hey, look, she knows everything. And even if she don't, we come like, hey, we need to put you on game. This is where we're going. But for us, thank you. Thank you for just being you.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be me, because so many people have this preconceived notion they want you to be who they need you to be or want you to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it conflicts with who you are. And for me, like I said, and I'm going to say this, that's why I love Tyler Perry's play. What was it? Medea Goes to Jail.
Yeah.
And he was talking, Medea was talking to his nephew and everything, Sonny. And more or less like, just think of people as parts of a tree. You say you got the leaves on the tree. Now, these individuals are the type of people that the wind blows, they over here. The wind blows again, they over there.
Yeah.
Here you go. When the seasons change, they change and show you their true colors. They shrivel up,
Yep.
and they only give shade every now and then. That's all they ever gonna be.
Yeah.
And as long as somebody shows you that, you can't have nothing but respect for that. Now, if you just chose to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, then that's on you.
Yeah.
Now, you also have the branches on the tree, but you gotta be careful because those branches will have you thinking that they strong and that they there for you, but the moment you step out there on them, you know,
Right.
they'll break up and leave you high and dry.
Yeah.
Then finally, you have the roots of the tree. Well, guess what? The roots provides the tree with everything it needs so that it can live.
Yes.
Yeah.
And typically, where are the roots of the tree? They're out of sight. You don't need to see them.
Yeah.
And as long as you have a few good friends like that, family members in your corner, don't nobody have to know how you moving, what you're doing, who got your back, whatever the case may be. Just know that those roots are strong and they're going to be there when you need them until it's time for them to transition on.
And that's the one thing I love about my sister. She's a root. And that's why I know with all the wonderful people that's been listening and supporting this program, podcast, radio show, we know we're going to be all right.
Absolutely.
Because I've already told her. I said, as soon as everything comes in the way it's supposed to, that I know it is, I'm forcing her to retire.
Oh, Lord.
I told her, I said, listen, you can either go voluntarily or I can kidnap you. She said, listen, just let me know once what, and then you ain't got to work.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of people that says, you know what, my brother said it best, your birthday twin. He said, blood makes you family. Blood makes you kin. Relationship makes you family.
You better say that again.
And I was like, and for all you folks that say that you're never too old to or too young for somebody to teach you something, anybody can teach you anything at any given point.
If you're willing to learn.
There it is.
That's the whole thing right there.
And I promise you, I've been upset because yesterday my voice is a little groggy. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I'm going to give just enough. I've lost all respect for this certain family member. Because I don't care how old you are, how old you're getting, on what's what, because I know you also listen to this program. You can share it with whoever in the family. I'm not biting my tongue. I'm going to be for real because I have to get this off my chest. When you are on the freeway and you have your 2-year-old, I don't even care if it's a 2-year-old, anybody in the car, flying in and out of traffic 10 times. Why did I say 10 times? Because I counted it. Almost caused 5 accidents and got hit by 18-wheeler. When you were supposed to be following me, you didn't think about the consequences of your actions. Because who was going to be the one if you had got clipped and hit, that was gonna have to make the phone call about what transpired. Do you think about your actions? I'm in a different space. I'm in such a space that I'm no longer caring about what people feel about what I say because of the truth. The truth, if you receive it, can help you grow. But if you take it as a negative Nancy, then it is what it is. You scared everyone that was in the vehicle with me because you was in the car with another passenger. And you had the audacity to talk to somebody who's been doing it longer than you and say there was nothing wrong with what you were doing. I'm offended. I am royally hurt. And I would like you to congratulate yourself because I cannot stop shaking. My heart keeps jumping in and out of my body because I keep replaying that image over and over again. And I thought about, what if that had to be some more people in there? I've always been the type of person, if I'm going to drive stupid and reckless, ain't nobody else going to be in the car with me.
Sustained.
No one. But the fact that you had somebody kin to you in that car, Whew.
I know.
Well, this is one of those moments where you just say you pray that experience does not become the best teacher.
Yeah.
That wisdom kicks in. See, I learned a long time ago that you have to be in a place to listen. When you're in a place to listen, you're teachable.
Okay.
This is why, again, that do as I say,
Yeah.
and not as I do not correlate. The same way with the whole, your actions should speak louder than your words. No. Your actions and your words should align.
Right.
One should not overrule the other. If one overrules the other, then to me that seems fraudulent.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I don't know what you're saying, but I know what you're doing.
And they don't match.
Or I know what you're doing, but I don't know what you're saying. Something, they have to align.
Right.
The same way, if I tell anybody can get married.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can do that. $60-something downtown, anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But being married does not make me a wife.
Mm-hmm.
My actions and the title correlate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. A dog can have a baby. It does not make you a parent.
Hello.
Okay.
People have to get that notion out of their head with the one, and a lot of these are old school cliches that we didn't even realize coming up was actually branding toxicity.
Exactly.
Because there is no way, there are just certain things, there are certain principles that I have that my children will never experience.
Come on now.
We're going to tell you the right thing, but we're going to do the right thing.
Exactly. We're not going to be hypocrites.
Exactly.
Right.
Our actions and our words are going to align so that you don't only hear what you should follow, but you see what you should follow.
No.
Exactly. And then if you don't, that's because you made
your own personal decision.
Come on now.
And once you make that decision, there is nothing I can do but say, God, cover.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that we miss. We have a lot of, that's like, I was having a conversation with someone about how the difference between being raised in tradition. So tradition becomes a hindrance because it cripples you, because you get into the belief system that this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is how. I have never been afraid to push the envelope.
Amen.
Okay.
Never. Does that mean that I have enough common sense to understand boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been afraid to challenge something that does not sound right to me. A prime example of, I remember I was maybe 18 at the time, and I had gotten caught smoking a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
And the individual, love her dearly, but she was talking about how me smoking was a bad look on her, especially being in ministry in the church. Mm-hmm. My statement, again, not being afraid to push the envelope, was, I can't get the guy through you. Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure, and I know for a fact, that she was about ready to knock me out the frame. My mouth has always been smart.
No.
But the truth is the truth. I have nothing to do with your leadership. That's your stuff. My job is to come into the realization for myself. Now I have I've come into the realization of it for myself, and I understand a lot of what was trying to be instilled in me, which is, when you are an example, you have to be very cautious of what you do and how you live. So I get it now, but the truth is still the truth in this statement.
Aha. But see, here's the thing. One thing you have to remember, kind of like when you mentioned about old school people, they have a tendency to cling to their old school ways of thinking and how things were done and all this other stuff or whatever. So even if it is the truth,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't necessarily mean that they want to hear it coming from you, especially someone that's so many years younger. Because kind of like from my standpoint, what I've seen is like, you have those that they figure, well, what they say is the truth, and you're not going to challenge that because you haven't been around long enough.
Oh my gosh.
And because I said it, just go ahead with it.
Right.
Okay, so that would be like, You tell me to drive down this one-way street, but in the wrong direction. So am I supposed to drive into oncoming traffic because that's what you said?
Listen, I have to bag that up because that is the facts. Now, here is the catch-22 to what you just said. So, granted, if you tell me to go in a certain direction, I should be able to trust you enough, especially if you have the experience and the longevity to know which way I'm supposed to be going. However, if I'm going down this road and stuff don't look right to me, I'm turning around. It's not about what you said.
Exactly.
Because your purpose for going down there is something totally different.
Exactly.
I was taught, because I remember there was a situation, and I remember saying, how does an individual who is in the same situation, how you telling me not to do something that you're clearly doing?
You
But
know
I
why?
was told those are the best people to tell you, because they are in it, they're experiencing it, and they can tell you how to avoid some stuff. But again, it takes wisdom for you to understand that.
But also, another thing too, you have to realize that a lot of people, their truth is not the truth.
Say it again for the people in the back.
For a lot of people, their truth, their individual truth, or the way they see things is not the truth.
Yeah.
So, okay, because you believe something, because you feel that something is the way it is or whatever, I'm just supposed to blindly follow along behind that. No, if something doesn't seem right, I'm going to ask questions. But the issue is the generation that I was raised in, we were raised
to be seen and not heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we weren't supposed to have emotions or feelings about things that went on around us.
And I have never understood that concept. What do people think they birth? Aliens?
Robots.
I mean, seriously.
Okay, think about it.
How do you expect me not to have feelings or emotions, or this is the best way? Or like I told King Solomon, and I stand on this with everything in me. Anybody walk up to my son and tell my son, boys don't cry, suck it up, we gonna have a problem. Because you're not gonna teach my son not to have emotion.
And not to, but more importantly, not to
express it.
them.
Because what you're doing is you're telling my son to be toxic. And you're not going to do that. There are too many men out here who was raised up under that principle. And then once they get a wife or to get in a relationship, then it's like trying to break through boulders and rocks. Because I work every day. That's me showing you I love you. But you can't tell me?
Right.
Oh, it was never said in my house. It was never expressed in my house. I'm not looking for my son to be weak, and he won't, not with his daddy.
I know that's right.
So that I ain't never worried about. But there is a balance that was not being taught.
But the reasoning behind that is because when you really truly think about it, it takes two people to create one child. And let's just be honest here, even still today, you still have a lot of single parent households.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You still have a lot of parents, whether it be mother or father, that are trying to, for lack of a better term here, trying to play both parts. And while I understand the logic behind it, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, mom can never be dad, dad can never be mom.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
And if you don't like it, tune me out.
Tough titty says the kitty who ain't got no milk. Because, I mean, that's the guy about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or this one right here. I'm going to be real. I hate Father's Day.
So do I.
Because I don't understand why women get on there talking about, oh, my kids got me a Father's Day gift because I'm both mommy and daddy. No, you are not.
Exactly.
Unless you're telling me you a hermaphrodite. No, you are not.
Oh, sure didn't need that visual right there, but exactly. Exactly.
I just lost my appetite.
Like, no.
I couldn't agree more. And the problem that I have with that, just to, piggyback off of that just a tad, off topic just a little bit, it's not, it's fathers out here that don't get the credit that they deserve.
Nope.
That's due them,
Yep.
if you will. And it irritates me because I'm the type of person, I'm not going to beg you to do anything. Okay? If you decide to stay away, if you decide that you don't want to take part, whatever the case may be, I'm not going to run in behind you. I'm not going to chase you. I'm going to get it done. And then you're going to have to answer to that child one day when that child gets old enough.
Yep.
And you're going to have to either talk to them or see the look on their face when they ask you, why weren't you around? Why weren't you a part of my life? Because trust and believe you me, that day is coming. That question is going to come. And I would love to be a fly on the wall to hear what your answer is. Because
you are one of the rare breed
Yep.
who ain't never stopped it.
Hello.
Now, truth be told, no. Men don't get the credit that they deserve.
Yep.
But justifiably, there are a lot of messed up women who are just truthfully butthurt that the relationship didn't work out. And thanks to our good old system,
Yep.
the mother automatically gets the kid.
And half of everything he owns.
okay.
And
Even if she the one that cheated.
And then all of a sudden, the kid becomes the pawn.
Oh,
It becomes the dangling game.
Right.
You can't see. You can't.
Here's the one I love the best.
What the child got to do with that?
If the dude is a millionaire, and let's just say for kicks and giggles, y'all was married in this equation, but he came home from work, caught you in the bed with somebody else. Why does he have to continue to pay for that lifestyle on top of child support?
It's one or the other.
Not both.
You don't get both.
You don't get child support and alimony.
You either get alimony or you get child
But
support.
think about
You
this.
do not get both.
Right.
So you telling me, just so I'm clear, that a child who ain't even old enough for preschool can spend $10,000 a month on diapers? Wipes? Infamil? And toys? Or here go the one that I found best. $675,000 a month. That one of my favorite artists was ordered by a judge to pay for his child. Now, I'm not stupid. Neither am I a dumb man. I don't care if the kid is 16. You expect for me to believe that a 16-year-old, I don't care if he was in every sport club in high school, can spend $675,000 a month on what? I don't care if he had a pair of tennis shoes for every day of the week. Hell, 5 different pairs of tennis shoes for every day of the week. He needs $675,000 a month.
But again, the example has been taken because it used to be nothing but 2-parent households.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Where you can have 101 kids.
We're going to take a quick pause, and we about to be back. I believe this is going about to be part 7 to finish this out. But hold that. We coming back at you. I love you.